just found this book the other day, and it suggested me that I should start to pray. I don't know who has written it or what kind of pills they took, but all I know is that it's just a fictionary non-fact storybook. It's 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 a fictionary non-fact storybook.
This tutorial requires intermediate skills, takes about 2 hours to prep and about 1 to 1.5 hours to apply. The money we spent went into that mannequin head and some Ellimorph plastic. The rest is pretty basic with a super cheapo bolt cap, some aluminium foil, 8 little flour and liquid latex, and yeah, a dash of color. Is this your first time here? You are watching Ellimax SFX. A few weirdo angles here as we recorded this when we were live streaming last Sunday. We begin with aluminium foil and create the base for the horns. This is your basic horn shape. You can turn it into whatever you like, and we need 2 of them. You can, of course, when you have worked out the shape, trim it down with a pair of scissors. There we go, perfect. Now let's wrap these up in electrical tape. This makes for a nice texture. And we also get a little bit of ridges there on the horns as we wrap it. And we wrap it pretty hard. We're gonna use double-sided tape to tape on those horns on the mannequin head. And be sure to treat that head with a layer of glue or varnish before you attach stuff to it, so you can peel it off without it breaking. If you can't find one, try looking in crafts stores. They usually have them. Or you can use an upside-down bowl in a pinch. It should do the trick. Alright, so we mix up liquid latex with regular baking flour and add a little more flour gradually until we get a nice mix looking like this gooey mess here. Then we apply that around the base of those horns. Gonna create a forehead piece for our little devil. If you are really crazy, you could maybe build this up using liquid latex and cotton if you are more comfortable shaping that. And applying a little bit of latex to our fingers makes it a lot easier to smooth things out without stuff getting stuck on the fingers there. Starting to look good, and of course you can shape it any way you like. We wanted to go for a fabulous little devil there, making sure that latex goes up over the horns to ensure they really stick in place, along with getting a nice bone structure up there. And as we create these little ridges here, we have a visitor in the background, also creating latex paste. Now who is this? Anyways, we create these ridges here on the side to get sort of a dragon look on our devil. And then we go in and separate the horns a little bit up there, using the end of a brush dipped in latex. Like that, making that go down. And then we go back in there and smooth everything out. All the edges. But as usual, it's your creation, so you can do whatever bone structure and patterns in that forehead that you want your devil to have. When you're done shaping it, just put it aside and let it dry. We suggest you leave it overnight to be sure it's really dry and set. Then we bring out some hot water and Ellimorph plastic. Let's create some tiny little horns for this devil. We scoop that plastic up when it's hot, and then we can shape it any way we like. So we take off a little chunk there, simply shape it like a tiny little horn. And again, it's your creation, so you can either make subtle little horns like we do here, or go totally bananas and make them larger. And by the way, you can get your hands on Ellimorph plastic in our shop at ellimorph.com. And be sure to order in good time now, as we are closing in on Halloween. And as you know, each and every little purchase supports us and helps us create these videos for you. So thanks for that. The next piece we are doing right here is also going in the forehead, a little bit lower than the one we made just now. So we smear it out and get those angry, intense brows in place. Not necessarily angry, but we need those brows to be really intense. So we use that liquid latex on the fingertips to shape it. And also claws can be good in this case. But of course you can also use the back of a brush as long as it's dipped in latex, so it flows smoothly. The last paste thing we are gonna do are the cheekbones. Don't worry too much about fusing and connecting those different latex areas neatly, because this is gonna be cut up to become 3 different pieces when we're ready. Those cheekbones are sick, dude! In Swedish is "Det var de sjukaste kindbenen, mannen." When you feel you have your cheekbone construction in place there, the way you want it, let's decorate with our little horns. Just push them in there. When these prosthetics are all dry, we will actually pull them off and glue them back in place, just to make sure they don't fall off when you run around being a devil at the party. Alright, so now the prosthetic on our mannequin as well as our face cast is all dry, and let's peel them off. And we apply flour here, otherwise that latex will stick to itself. So gently peel it all off, cutting off a cheekbone here, and then we trim these down. As you will notice, we trim these very, very tightly. Same goes for that additional forehead piece. Just like that. It's off, and we can start peeling those little horns off like that. Will make it a lot easier to trim it down. With our pieces trimmed, it's time to decorate these with even more dragon-like, devil-like elements. But first, smear in that face cast or bowl with some Vaseline, because we don't want the glue to stick too hard onto that surface. So we place those cheekbones back, and then we actually go in with a hot glue gun and add little details. You probably can do this with your basic glue as well, but it's gonna take a lot longer for it to dry. So then we create these little streaks here, ridges, and we make them go out over the edge. And then we will trim these down with scissors, and they will go out onto the skin, sort of taking the focus away from the actual edge of the latex, and instead making it seem like it's going straight into becoming one with the skin. Throw those horns back and continue with the decoration on the big forehead piece. It might not look as much right now, but when the color comes on there, you'll see it looks pretty awesome. And we were doing some measuring here with that secondary forehead piece with the horns on it, and we decided that nope, let's cut off a lot more of that excess latex so we get it more like a little V. Perfect, like that. Let's also extend this with glue along the edge and up, and also down over the nose. And thanks to the Vaseline we applied, we can peel this off, start using a pair of scissors there to make those glue pieces sharp and fit our devil nicely. There we go. That's looking awesome. And just like we did before, apply flour or powder as you peel that forehead piece off. We do a little trim down there in the front, and then, yep, we're halfway. Time for, yep, Art Nicholas B. Amazingly talented. Go check his stuff out. It's artful, it's beautiful, it's colorful. Give him a follow. Application time, and we start by protecting our eyebrows from that latex using Vaseline. Then we bring out that cheapo bald cap and slap it on there. And I have to say, I always think that Ellie looks so cute when she's only got the bald cap on there. So tell us in the comments, should Ellie shave all her hair off and go bald for a while or not? Let us know. Anyways, we continue with a red color on the nugget. You can of course use a hairspray color like we do, mix that with red and black, or you can simply paint it with red and black paints, whatever you have access to. And as expected, this is a pretty straightforward process to attach these prosthetics. Simply apply latex or skin adhesive on the inside of the prosthetic and put it in place. Then we go over the edges with additional latex, just to make sure it sits there. And repeating the process for the rest of our prosthetic pieces. And since that forehead piece is attached onto our other headpiece, we go over all the edges there again with latex to turn them into one. And for those of you who wonder, these prosthetics are very, very lightweight, so you can barely feel this thing on your head. And the horns being aluminum foil as well, weighs pretty much nothing. Which is very good if you intend to run around on a party all night with this on Halloween. As you see, red color there, no fuss, no strange things. We are using a grease-based paint here. We go over most of our face, but we leave our eyes unpainted because we want to go in there with some yellow. Give it a nice little pow. Blend that in there. And we also use this yellow color for some highlight areas on the chin, on the nose, and along the jawline. With that yellow base in place, we go in with a much more pigmented eyeshadow to give those yellow areas some punch and pop. Quite the difference. Next up, additional shading and adding depth to those hollowed out areas in our little prosthetics. Going in with a deep purple tone. Going in with black would have been way too heavy for our taste here. So this purple shade actually worked really well. Adding it with a smaller brush so that we can get it in all the detailed areas we want, and then going in with a sponge to blend it out. She's beginning to look like Hellboy's ex in Swedish is... Då börjar hon likna Hellboys ex. To give the eyes a real pow, we go in with a super black tone there. And in contrast to the yellow that we already have, this is looking really cool. Incidentally, the yellow and red also match those contacts that we have put in for this look. To add an additional female touch to this she-devil, we go in and extend out, so to speak, our lashes. We are gonna put in some falsies as well. These streaks going upwards like this adds to the whole dragon theme. Black along that lower lid as well. And then we go in for some mascara and falsies. I actually forgot how many pairs Ellie put on here. I think it was 3 or 4 pairs of eyelashes she put on to get that real pow that she has right there. And of course, that cream lipstick, it's really, really tying this together. With all that black in our face, we need to apply more black on top of our head. Just like that, using the hairspray color. The next step is probably optional depending on what kind of clothing you are planning to wear with this look. Of course, we need to extend these red tones down a bit, but we went full on and extended it all the way down all over our chest as well. First, getting all the colors out there, the yellow for those highlights, the red and the purple for all the shading parts, and then it's a blending time. For additional shading under the collarbones and ribs, we go in with that deep purple tone again. Intense color close to that yellow shade on top, and then fade it outwards. Since we need more of a sulfur touch here on our little she-devil, we add additional blackness here along our neck. Slimming it down, then switch to red hairspray color for our arms. Same thing there, mix in that black to get a nice texture, like that, and of course going over our fingertips, fading out down into that red tone. And guess what? With that paint job on those fingers, you are ready, unless you want to make some awesome teeth as well. Go check all our magic tutorials on how to create monster teeth. This is a beauty of a she-devil, don't you think? Came out awesome. Yeah, smoking hot as well. If you like it, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on those notifications because there's a lot of stuff coming your way this Halloween. And keep sharing our videos with the world because we want this Halloween to be the most beautiful or horrifying ever. Anyways, we're back in a few days. We'll see you then. Love you. Bye.